Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Watch Me Wrench with your host, Mr. Wrench. So I think it was like one of my last videos. I explained the manifold wasn't working with the trick flow steam vent kit, the 4-port steam vent kit. So I had to rearrange it, buy some Earl's fittings, and then I came up with a plan. And I bought additional fittings, I bought additional AN fittings and some hose. I spent $102. And after doing some more test fitting and whatnot, that's still not going to work. So I had to switch gears for a little bit. And right now I'm working on the fuel lines. Let's go over the other side before I talk about it. Hold on. So right now what you see here, this is 8AN to an 8AN Y block. But from here on, we had a reducer right here from 8AN to 6AN. So from here on, everything was 6AN. Now there's a general rule of thumb that 6AN is good for up to 750 horsepower. But we've already passed that. So you have to upgrade from 6AN to 8AN. So that's what I'm doing. I made this crossover line right here. And I did go with some high quality AN fittings and hose. These are all from Red Horse Performance. And these are very nice fittings. Now, they're expensive, but they're the best. And you'll appreciate that when you go to assemble them. These have like a tapered end and the hose just slides in. It tightens up pretty easy. If you get a cheap one, it kind of has like a blunt nose and it's hard to even just get the threads to start. So I just made this one right here, this crossover. Came out nice. Again, that's all 8AN. So now I have to rework the fuel line. I got an 8AN 180 back there. And I got a whole bunch of fittings and adapters. I spent $344 on hose and fittings and a fire sleeve. After I finish the fuel line setup, then I could go back to working on the steam vent kit. Like in this corner, I might just come straight down and then come with a hose. I was just making a test with this one hose. So I might just come up, come around, then go down into this fitting here. And then out. But that side's still a huge fit problem. Now, what happened was, in the back you have two vacuum ports. One for the brake booster and another vacuum line. I don't even remember where it goes to. On this manifold, they're in a different location. And I did start to mock up, and I actually made two hoses. I made that hose, and then I made the crossover hose with the additional fittings and braided line that I bought. So I did two of the four sides, but then when I went to put this on, because they relocated the brake booster line, it was actually running right into the crossover tube for the steam vent kit in the back. So I was like, oh great, just wasted time and money. So I had to shift gears. I had to shift gears, and I had to lay out the fuel line setup before I could proceed with the steam vent kit. So I think what I'm going to do for the steam vent kit is I'm going to go from here to here and then out. And then from the back there to here and then out somewhere. Maybe run it to the line right there or come across, tie it into here. But I don't know if I tie it into here, it'll be the most efficient way because you're going to have a line going down to there, coming out, and then you would have another one. And those pressures and fluids would kind of be working against each other before they finally make their way out. So maybe I'll just come straight out. Maybe I'll just buy another one of those adapters, install it there. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. All right, so let's just go to the bench for a second. Here's some more of the fittings I got. They were very helpful. I told them what I need. They gave me the part number. You could just go on their website and order it, and I had everything in like 2 days. So that's 8AN hose, that's a 8AN fire sleeve, and a whole bunch of fittings. So let me just grab my old fuel line. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, so here we have my old fuel line. This is where it connected to the Y block. This was coming in. And then it goes to the methanol sensor, and then came around, and then looped into the fuel rail on the passenger side. So I basically have to recreate this with all the fittings. However, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something a little trick. So this would be the rear of the intake, and that would be the front of the intake. So basically you just had this fuel line running around the front of the intake like over the throttle body. But I don't like how that looks. So what I'm going to do is, bear with me. I'm going to match the crossover tube that I made, and we'll go like this. I'm going to put a 90 here and a 90 here. Now yes, you do have more connections, more potential spots to leak, but as long as you do it right and you use good quality product, you won't have an issue. Let me see if I could get this undone. I'm going to show you one thing that's better about these than some of the cheaper brands out there. Okay, see how that end is tapered? You'll have some where that's not tapered. And because it's tapered, it goes together so easily. And then there are some where you don't have this long of a shaft here. The shaft is shorter. And then as you're trying to put it together, it's hard for you to even engage the threads. And I ran into that problem with some of the cheaper AN fittings I use on the 4-port steam vent kit. And I believe the original fittings from the 4-port steam vent kit were some of the cheaper AN fittings. And I was having a lot of trouble with those. So get yourself some good AN fittings. This is again from Red Horse Performance. Alright, so let me continue on and I'll be back. Here is the old crossover. So basically you had this crossover like that in the front connecting to fuel rails, and then you had this line running across. But I want to match this. So I think that'll look really good. Like that. Yeah, that'll look cool. Alright guys, I'll be back. Alright guys, so I've been working diligently all day. This does take a lot of time. So here's what I have so far. I got the crossover tube here. This is the fuel line coming in, and it loops through there. Let's check out this setup. That looks good. Let's go over to the other side. I may shorten this a little. I don't know just yet where this is going to fall. I'm going to have to get this is a 45. I'm going to have to get like a 30-degree elbow. And then make the hose from there to there, or make a hose to a straight collar here. Like this. But then it just sticks up more. See that? Yeah, so that's not going to work, the straight collar. Okay, so I don't need to get another straight collar. I just need to get a 30-degree, and then I could rotate it. I'm not exactly sure where this is going to fall. I kind of screwed myself because I made these wires short, and these are pinned straight to the computer. And I'm not going to pull these out and redo them. This was a pain in the ass to do, to run the wires for the sensor. So before it went like this, I had it tucked down in there. But as you could see then, if I put it right there where it was, then these two ports, these two elbows are not lined up. I could extend that one, but then the hose is going to, this whole setup here, all these fittings are going to be resting like on here. And then this is up pretty high, and the hose is going to, and this is really sharp, this corner, and then the hose is going to stick up high here. I don't know if it'll clear the hood. I could tell I'm probably going to have to shorten this one. That looks like it's going to hit the hood. We'll see. But maybe I'll extend that one. I have enough line. Bring this out like 2 inches. Tuck this in over here, like I had it before. And then those 2 ends would line up. But again, I don't know if it's going to have the clearance for the hood. If I didn't make those wires short, if I left more room, I could have tucked the sensor back here. Or I could just run it like this, have the sensor up like that, and then it works out. And then I'll shorten this one here to bring all of this closer in. Well, I'll see if that works. I just don't know if I like that sensor sitting on top there. And then for the steam vent kit, I could have the hose running, just get a straight collar down to there. And then a straight collar going down to the back and run it along here. These are 2 short pieces I had. It kind of does look cool. Maybe I'll just get a double-sided male union with another straight collar. Sort of like this here. And then leave those fittings instead of running one solid hose. I'm kind of digging all this AN stuff. But these are a cheaper brand. As you can see, they're kind of flat. This end looks purplish. Another reason why I went with the Red Horse Performance AN fittings, because they're high gloss. They have a nice shine to them. The cheaper ones are kind of matte, and then these look purplish. So we'll see. I will have to change this one. This is a 45. I'll have to get like a 30-degree one, so it sticks here, and then I can run a hose to there. I don't know. Or I could just run a hose to a straight collar. No, because then the straight collar is going to stick up too high. Yeah. And then the hose would have to dive down probably to reach this. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I think actually to finish this, I'd have to put the coils back on to see where the plug, I believe the plug is going to go like right there. I have to see where I'm going to put this sensor. If I'm going to tuck it down in there and then maybe extend that one or leave it like that. You know, I don't like that they're offset. I'd like them to be perfectly parallel. But we'll see. So I think I have to put everything back. Coils. Maybe put my LS coil covers back on that I have dipped with the carbon fiber weave. That's it. So I think I'll have to hold off on the fuel rails. I could finish the steam vent kit. I'll do the same on that side, run a straight line to there, and then have to either tie into up here so it vents out or come across. So we'll see. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. I've been here all day. This was very time consuming. When you do something like this, you have to take your time, make sure it's laid out right, because you only get one chance to do this stuff right. All right, guys, I hope you liked this video. I'll be back. All right, guys, so I'm working on the steam vent kit. Hopefully I could get this damn thing done. I was working on the fuel lines in the last clip. I have to wait before I finalize the fuel line, the very last connection. So I've got the steam vent kit on this side of the motor done on the passenger side. Well, hopefully almost done. So I basically got a 90 going into that Earl's fitting back down there. And then coming up. And then straight down. It's like a jigsaw puzzle here. Going straight down to a T. And I'm going to have a 45 running out. And I'll tie this into the line that runs to this nipple down here. So it'll intercept like that as one line goes across. Hopefully that works. It's a shame I'm covering up my nice brackets that I made. Oh well, it's a nice clean look and a nice clean install. So I've got the line tied into the back. I got to measure and then try to fit that side now. Let's go over there. Alright, so I've got the rear connected with a straight collar. Basically, I'm just going to have to run it down through here. I got to put an attachment down there. Give me 1 second, I'll be back. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't need any attachment. I just have to put the straight collar on the end of this hose and attach it to there. And then this will go out to here, to that nipple. And then this one will intersect in the middle. So that's basically it. This is a more simple, clean look. Hopefully it works out. So it'll look something like that. Alright, let me get back to it and I'll be back. Alright guys, welcome back. So the 4-port steam vent kit is finally done. This was an absolute nightmare. And there was nothing that money can't resolve, right? So all you do is spend money on these damn hot rods. So I basically had to spend another, what, $115. I ordered more fittings from Red Horse Performance. Yes, you could have bought some more additional fittings for cheaper, but these are high quality fittings. They look good, they're glossy, and they go together really well. If you buy a cheap fitting, you're going to find out why they're so cheap. So basically, we got a 90 coming out the Earl's LS steam vent adapter. The hose coming straight across. We've got a union here in the middle, and then like a straight collar and a straight collar. Down to a straight collar, down to that T fitting. I got a 45 going over to there. And then this hose will go into that nipple. Now just get a clamp. Let's go to the other side. Same thing over here. You got like a straight collar down to the steam vent port. Another fitting there, a union down to a straight collar and out. I did use up, see that's an old straight collar I had. I should have got another one. As you can see, it looks crappy. And then you have some good high quality ones there. So that's it. Steam vent port, 4-port steam vent kit is finally done. Absolute nightmare. I've spent at least easily 2 months just working on the steam vent kit. And I only get a couple hours here and there, usually on the weekend, to work on it. So that killed a lot of the time I had. So I don't know if I'm going to make the changes here. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. I'm just going to get some clamps, and I'll clamp the hoses down like that. And that's all I need. That's all I need. That's all that's left to do. The reason why I made a connection here, I originally had one straight line going across, but then if you have to like service anything, you have to disconnect it from there, and then you would have had to disconnect it from back there. And you can't get your arms in the back. You would have to take the manifold off. So just to make life easier, you just, undo this one connection here. Voila. And then if you have to pull the manifold out, you can pull it out pretty easy. Or if you got to service the fuel rail or the fuel injectors, then you can do it easily. Alright guys, so welcome back. So just want to show you what I'm going to do about like keeping these steam vent lines held in place. So, and of course now my neighbor's using his damn leaf blower. So I went to the store and I bought these insulated hose clamps. These are 5/8. These are meant for 5/8 holes. That's not a 5/8 hose, but it's all they had. So I brought them home, and of course, there's not enough room. Even if I got the right size diameter clamp, there's just not enough real estate here to get anything like this to work. So then I went into my creative mode and I started thinking. So first thing I did was I took one and I removed the insulation, and then I started just bending and chopping them up, and I came up with this right here. So that will work. It actually looks pretty good. All right. So there's enough room to tighten the bolt. But what I'll do is once I have it in place, I'll, with my hand, I'll bend it even more and then pull it forward. And then, of course, it's going to be blocking the bolt. But if I need to access the bolt, this is thin enough metal, I could just, bend it back out of the way. So, it's just easy to bend. So I have two options. I could run them like this. I'll leave them raw like that. Or I could run them like that with the insulation in place. I do like the insulation because, it acts like a little bit as a heat sink. It acts as a little bit of a heat barrier. But I'm just not crazy about the look. Now that looks a lot cleaner and neat. But that might be more efficient with a little bit of insulation in between the hose and the clamp. Or I could get maybe like an epoxy and then just dip the top half of these in the epoxy. That might work, but that's just more money and more time. So I don't know, maybe I'll just run them with that for now. That's how I'm doing it. So after I take off the rubber, I'm cutting them right here at this mark. I cut this end off, and I do that because it already has a bend beginning here. Then I put this end in a vise and I bend it over and I make a 90-degree bend right here. And then I take the clamp and then I hammer it around this socket, which is the same diameter as the hose, and I get it, roughly into the shape of the hose. So that's how I'm doing it. More customizing, more custom work for this never-ending intake manifold install project. Holy cow, it's a lot of work. All right, so I guess that's it for now. Let me make one more of these, and then I'll be done with the brackets. And here I have one just up. That was the first one I started experimenting with. That one I just have to bend more into shape. I don't know. I like the look of just that, but I would like to have some type of insulation in the way. Or, actually, I could take the insulation and flip it around so all you see is insulation. I don't like how it looks, the black and the silver. So if I flip it around, you'll just see this. But then how's that gonna look? I don't know. Alright. Oh, I could just do this. So you could have it like that, you could have it like that, or you could have it like that. And the insulation will still protect the hose. It just won't be as much protection, but it'll protect it. And It'll act as a little bit of a heat barrier. No, I don't think this is going to affect the intake air temperatures. This isn't going to be resting on the manifold. You know, it is going to be held by the bracket. I don't expect it to transfer much heat. I don't even know how hot these get. I assume they do get warm. But we'll see. Alright, let me mess with it and then I'll come up with a final design. Figure out which route I'm going to go. Alright guys, I'll be back. Alright guys, so I think I'm officially done with this steam vent kit. So there it is. I think I'm going to leave them like that. It looks good. Nice and clean. I'm not really digging how that looks. I think before I said I'll get some type of epoxy dip. No, I meant like a rubberized dip where you could like dip your screwdriver handle in if you want to coat it. I know they sell stuff like that. So maybe I'll just try that. But for now, I'll leave it like that. I'm not worried about any heat soak. The lines are suspended over the intake. They're not making contact with the intake in any points. I just have to adjust this one. I have to lower it. And I'll remove that black insulation, that black rubber insulation over there. But that's it. It's officially done. It does look awesome. It does look really good. Very professional, very clean. I love how it came out. I just have to lower this one and remove that. But that's it. Looks really good. Nice and clean. So that's it. And then I'm just waiting for like one of these clamps to come in the mail. So I could clamp that end to the nipple there. And then we're done. So that's it. Alright guys, I'll be back. Thanks for watching.